Hello, how are you?
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm good. It's so great to see you. I'm super excited that we have here today Dr. Rachel ONeill, who is Director of Clinical Effectiveness at Talkspace. And Talkspace is transforming how we receive therapy and getting connected to therapists in so many ways, using technology and people. And key to happiness is connection. So I'm really excited to have you here today, sharing what you all are doing at Talkspace and what you have available.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for the opportunity, and it's always wonderful to see you again. I am going to go ahead and share my screen now and talk a little bit about what Talkspace is doing to serve as a mechanism for care and connection. And I had the opportunity today to listen to some of the earlier broadcasts, and one of the pieces that I kept coming back to as I was listening was this idea of having one person to talk to. That's something that a number of the speakers have talked about today. And it really stood out to me as I was thinking about this particular presentation and as I was thinking about what Talkspace has done as a whole over the course of the past year. And that is really about being that one person to talk to. So today I'm going to talk more specifically about how Talkspace has served as a mechanism for care and connection. And to just get a bit started, I wanted to share a little bit about myself and how I came to be at Talkspace. I am a therapist by training, and I started with Talkspace about 4 years ago. I like to say that I started with Talkspace as a curious skeptic because I wasn't really sure how mental health therapy would work in an online atmosphere. So while I was very intrigued and very interested by that idea, I really had my doubts as to how traditional face to face therapy could be adapted. And over the course of the past 4 years, I have become more than a believer, whatever you would say was more than a believer. I have become that of Talkspace and of this particular type of mental health service delivery because it has allowed us, in particular, in the midst of a pandemic, to be that one person, to be that support, to have access to therapy and therapeutic services at a time when all of us have experienced struggles and difficulties. And so today, as I go through this presentation, I am also reflecting on my experience as a therapist and truly what it has meant to be part of an organization like Talkspace and to be able to provide services at this particular moment in time. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health challenges this past year, as well as where we currently are as well. If you've listened to the other speakers, you've heard them reflect on that throughout the morning and articulate the ways in which we've experienced collective trauma, collective stress, collective anxiety, depression, just a whole host of emotions. So you've already sort of learned about that, but I'm just going to reinforce some of those points as well. I'm also going to talk a little bit about changes in mental health care and technology and how the intersection of technology has really helped folks have more access to treatment and has helped over a time when individuals truly have experienced unprecedented struggles. And then I'll end by talking just a bit about Talkspace and some of the work that we're doing. So you've heard speakers talk about this today, but we know that over the course of the past year, again, we've experienced a collective trauma. We've experienced fear, stress, anxiety. We may have experienced panic. Depending on our relationship to the virus, we may have experienced traumatic stress as a result of contracting the virus or having somebody that we love and care about contract it. We may have experienced fear about the particular nuances of the virus, especially right around this time last year when everything seemed to be happening so quickly and life as we know it really seemed to be significantly impacted. I was thinking today as I was gearing up to watch some college basketball. I love this time of the year. And I was thinking about this moment in time last year and how the tournament, the NCAA tournament being canceled, for me personally was this moment of, wow, this is serious. This is serious that something that we sort of associate with March and we associate with this time of the year is now gone. It's taken from us. And there were so many moments like that throughout the year that impacted individuals on a large scale, as well as individuals on a small scale. Things like college graduation or high school graduation or kindergarten graduation were no longer available in the way that we thought they might be. Marriages, deaths, any sort of milestone that we tend to take for granted may no longer have been there in the way that we thought it might. And when that happens, individuals experience trauma, they experience sadness, they experience fear or uncertainty. And one of the things that has happened as a result of that is that individuals have sort of begin to think about their experience relative to others. And so in addition to my work in the clinical leadership team at Talkspace, I also am still a therapist at Talkspace, and I've worked with a number of individuals over the course of the past year. One of the common themes that I've heard is this tendency to compare their experiences to other folks. And so maybe I worked with a college student that lost their opportunity to walk during their college graduation. They had a streamed graduation instead via Zoom. And there's a loss there, and there's a sadness there, but sometimes it's unrealized or it's unaccepted because the individual felt like they shouldn't feel sad or they shouldn't feel a loss because so many people around them were suffering in different ways. And so not only did we experience these collective stresses and these collective losses, but in some cases we may have judged our experience or thought that we shouldn't feel a certain way, which can obviously complicate our experiences. So some additional reactions, and again, many of these are likely quite familiar, changes in sleeping and eating. These are all invitations to further assess for trauma, for stress. Many of us over the course of this past year, or people that we care about, may have experienced just a sort of disruption in all areas of our life, and in many ways in which we previously had coped, those were no longer available to us. So when we think about ways that we coped, it may have been that we connected with our support system, and yet we weren't able to do that, at least not in person. Or maybe it was decreasing our media consumption. But that's challenging when you're trying to stay prepared and ahead of a virus. And so a lot of the ways that we have previously instructed individuals to cope with trauma and with stress simply were no longer available. And that's where Talkspace really came in. Talkspace is not new. We've been around for 10 years, and we've been part of the virtual mental health community during that time. You'll see on this slide the ways in which we are visible in the virtual mental health community and the service that we bring. But just to put all of this simply, we were there during a time of need for individuals. We had licensed mental health professionals that were ready and prepared to meet this demand, to meet a need at a particular moment in time when individuals, maybe more than at any point in their life, needed someone to talk to. They needed that one person. So Talkspace has, again, been in the landscape for 10 years. And, as a therapist, some of the pieces that I appreciate so much about the services are right here on this slide. First, we know one of the barriers to seeking treatment is oftentimes mental health stigma. Folks don't necessarily want to admit they have a problem. They don't necessarily want to have to drive their car to the local mental health facility and park for fear that perhaps their neighbors will see, or perhaps they, will have to talk about a problem that they're not willing to talk about just yet. Talkspace takes that away by literally giving access to individuals in their pocket a mental health professional. It's as easy as downloading an app, answering a few simple questions, and immediately being matched with a licensed mental health professional who is there to support, who is there to meet the individual where they are, and is there to let them direct what treatment looks like. We offer messaging-based services, so therapeutic communication back and forth via our secure app. We also offer live video sessions. Some users choose a combination of both, and others choose maybe just video sessions, or maybe just to have that therapeutic text-based communication. But it puts ownership in terms of what service delivery looks like back in the hands of the consumer. We also have the ability to offer costs that are typically below the price point that you might see if you were to go to a self-pay area or private practice area in your particular region. Again, we offer that immediate access, and we utilize a matching algorithm to make sure that we are matching members with a therapist who is going to be skilled to meet the issue that's bringing them in and skilled to meet whatever sort of need they have in terms of wanting to work with a therapist. So we provide a spectrum of solutions for our members. We offer more clinically based care. So we have therapy services, we have psychiatry services. We have the ability to work with individuals who may have persistent mental health concerns like depression, bipolar disorder. We also offer the individuals who may be coming in with adjustment related issues, or perhaps some lower level mental health concerns like general stress or problem sleeping, the ability to seek services as well. So we offer a spectrum of care that can be really helpful for individuals who maybe feel unsure of where they want to start. And the growing landscape of mental health care has really sort of led to the need for services like Talkspace, that we have this one platform with our licensed mental health professionals who are available to meet clients in terms of whatever need they may be bringing in at a particular moment in time. So for example, it's not uncommon for someone to come in and maybe the first thing that brings them in is problem sleeping. But after a period of time of working with a therapist, it becomes evident that perhaps it's more than problem sleeping. Perhaps they're also having problems in their relationship. Maybe they're having problems concentrating. Perhaps they're experiencing ongoing anxiety. Their therapist can work with them across those issues and give them the treatment that they need. And so maybe that entry point was sleep, but after a period of time of building rapport with their therapist, it becomes more than that as well. And this slide really sort of speaks to that idea that we truly do meet folks where they are. So, the previous models of mental health care sometimes focused on only treating those individuals that may have had a diagnosable mental condition, or only treating those individuals that may have had those persistent or chronic conditions. What we do at Talkspace is offer up an inclusive model that offers the ability to meet folks, again, where they are and to focus on what it is that they want to change. We truly are a client-driven model of service in the sense that the client is part of the treatment planning process and that it truly is the client who's dictating what the next steps look like in their treatment and their recovery versus a medical model that's very prescriptive and saying what the individual may need based on their particular diagnosis. I've spoken a bit about our network, but I couldn't let an opportunity go to really showcase the quality of the individuals who are providing service on our platform. We have at Talkspace a number of full-time therapists who work with us as their primary source of employment. We also have contract therapists who provide service on our platform as well. All in all, putting those two groups together equates to over thousands of therapists who are part of our network at any given time. We have coverage across all 50 states, as well as the ability to work with individuals who are living internationally as well. All of our mental health professionals on our network have at minimum a master's degree. We also do have some doctoral level professionals as well. And all of our therapists on our platform are credentialed according to national credentialing status standards. And our therapists receive extensive training as they begin working with Talkspace, and they have access to ongoing training services as well. We recognize that most of our therapists come to us with about 8 to 10 years of experience in the profession already, but this type of service delivery may be new to them, or perhaps they need a refresher on telehealth service delivery. So we want to make sure that we're giving them the opportunity to be successful at Talkspace by providing that training and providing that ongoing education and supportive services. I also want to underscore that we are committed as a company to diversity in our providers. We intentionally recruit and onboard diverse providers. We recognize that one of the benefits of a service like Talkspace is giving individuals the opportunity to feel that they have someone who listens to them, who relates to them, and in some cases who may have similar experiences to them. So we want to make sure that when individuals join Talkspace, they have a wide variety of folks to choose from and that they have the ability to choose someone who they feel will be a good fit for them. We do find success in our matching algorithm in that about 90% of our members stay with the first person that they've been matched to, which underscores that we are selecting providers as potential matches for our clients that are a good fit for them in the fact that they're continuing their relationship moving forward. Another piece of Talkspace, in addition to those therapeutic services, is our psychiatry program. We offer a wide network of coverage, again, available in all 50 states. and 99% of members are matched to a licensed psychiatry provider immediately. Again, this really differs from the normal experience of attempting to access a psychiatry appointment and facing barriers or facing extensively long waiting times. We're able to provide those immediate matches, and in most cases, appointments within 1 to 2 weeks as soon as matching occurs. So we've really worked to break down some of those barriers that oftentimes can serve to prevent an individual from receiving the treatment that they need. The security standards for our psychiatry services are much like the security standards for our therapeutic services. And the only key difference is that for our psychiatry program, services are all delivered via video sessions. There is no messaging associated with our psychiatry services. The last piece that I really want to touch on is the ways that Talkspace is intentionally using outcomes and data to support the work that we're doing. So we recognize that we have a quality network of providers providing our services, but we want to make sure that we're tracking that data. So all of our providers are monitored for their quality of service delivery. We track in aggregate client outcomes to ensure that our clients are getting better, to ensure that the services that are being delivered are helpful and effective for our clients. Again, we recognize that as a technology company, we have access to all of these wonderful technology tools, and we want to make sure that we're using them to facilitate the effective delivery of therapeutic services. And then this just sort of sums up everything that I've talked about so far, that, the ways that Talkspace has worked over the course of the past year to facilitate care and connection has been through our diverse network of providers, through having a variety of care options to meet individuals where they were and to physically meet them in the location where they were. I'll share that, last year at this time, I was working pretty extensively with first responders, medical professionals who were working long hours and most days of the week, and in no situation would have been able to leave their work as a first responder in the medical field at the height of a pandemic to go to a therapy appointment. But they were able to open their phone, they were able to open their app and talk with me in that moment where they had 5 minutes to spare. They were able to take a break, take a breather, and reach out to me. So it really underscores, again, having that one person and having that one person with you no matter where you are. And that's, again, to sum up everything that Talkspace is, it really boils down to that one piece, that we are truly about having in your pocket someone who can be that one person for you in that moment in which you need it. So I encourage you all to, if you'd like to learn more, please visit our website at www.talkspace.com. And again, just want to reiterate my appreciation for the opportunity to be here and the opportunity to take part in this wonderful event. And I've learned so much from the speakers that I've listened to today.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being here. I just want to share too some great things I think about Talkspace. One is like the quick connection, so the 15 minutes to get to a therapist as opposed to weeks and trying to find. And I love the research you have on matching, that 80% or over, I think you said, stay with that same therapist, which has not been my experience in, out in the world. So it's really, you do a lot behind the matching, which I think is great. You guys have also done so much for stigma, getting celebrities, Demi Lovato, Michael Phelps talking about their mental health, and that it's okay to reach out to people and to use something like Talkspace to get support and to manage stressors and to really be proactive. And then I'm also, of course, just want to say I'm so excited on how innovative you are and how you work with folks. And we were able to get Reno, our entire city, the city prepaid, Talkspace for all our Reno residents to, again, ensure that everyone has one person to connect with. So, and you all were instrumental in making that happen and being really innovative in the approach. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing more with Talkspace and what you all are doing and all your work.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a great day.
Bye-bye.